So in this video, we're going to see Donald Trump's faith advisor actively turn his back on MAGA and on Donald Trump in this interview and expose the real truth that MAGA and the right are trying to distort when it comes to the war between Russia and Ukraine. As usual, let's watch this video in full and then I'm going to give you guys my thoughts towards the end.
Pastor Mark Burns is a spiritual advisor to President Trump. He's just visited Ukraine, and thus the pastor has changed his mind about the war. Pastor, welcome to Newsnight.
Happy to be here.
Did you have view one? You visited Ukraine, and you now have view two, and if so, what is it?
Well, I mean, listen, number one, I think fake news has a lot to do with changing the view of Ukraine in America, especially those of us on the right. Now, let's be very clear. I'm still very strong MAGA. I'm still very strong America first. But when I got to Kyiv and I got to Ukraine, I discovered that Ukraine was bigger than just the blue and the yellow flag that we see on CNN. They're real, living, breathing people there. And when you're seeing the atrocities that at the hands of the Russians, when you're seeing the 300 rapes that are being called out on, when you're seeing the 700 religious institutions, synagogues, mosques, and temples being destroyed at the hands of the Russians, when you're seeing the 20,000 children that have been kidnapped and sent back to Russia. And you're seeing the fact that at the initial invasion, they were told to put white bandanas on their arms so that signifies that they are non-combatants, they are not soldiers, but yet the Russians took those same bandanas and they tied the hands of individuals and they shot them point blank. These are the things that are happening. And even just today, Kyiv, where I was, is being bombed significantly, and regions that have been bombed because Vladimir Putin is the aggressor. That is true. And so because I saw this firsthand, politics went out the window. Democrat, Republican, left, right, politics went out the window. Whether you pro-Zelensky or you hate Zelensky, whether you're pro-President Trump or you dislike President Trump, all of that went out the window. All I saw was my fellow brothers and sisters, human beings that needed our help.
Well, I mean, it's a lot to take in. I think you must come back every night because viewers are so unused to people changing their mind when the evidence changes in the current news cycle. But I mean, you could be aligning with President Trump there by saying, stop the war. The problem is on what terms, Pastor, because if it's land for peace, would you be upset if Putin won and his aggression was rewarded with chunks of Ukraine?
Well, let's just be clear. Again, I am in direct communication with those in the White House, and I'm in very direct communication with those that are in Ukraine at the highest level. And I can say this, you have several of those leaders who are saying, we want peace more than ammo. And we also understand that it is at this stage almost impossible to go back to the 1991 borders, which included Crimea. They understand that. Do they like it? No, but they understand the current situation. They are running out of men. They got fight in them. They will fight to the death. And Ukrainian soldiers, they are strong individuals, men and the women that are on the front lines. 5,000 Russian and Ukrainian soldiers are being killed. And those from the UK, those foreign international soldiers from the UK, those from America, again, they're dying right there for what? Nothing. And so, are we happy that Russia has a bigger army? No. Do President Trump like Russia, or in essence, is he friends with Vladimir Putin? Absolutely not. He has nothing to do with Vladimir Putin. He has nothing to do with President Zelensky. What he has to do is those 5,000 people that are dying every day.
Right.
And I call them my brothers and sisters, the Ukrainian people, Slava Ukraine. I'm calling them my brothers and sisters.
Yeah, but they don't want to be Russian. They don't want to be Russian, Pastor. So I need you to, in a sentence, to say, would you sign up to land for peace as a man of God?
Well, absolutely. If it's going to stop the killing, if it's going to stop the 9 children that was beheaded or killed by drones yesterday, the 3 children that was killed today in Kyiv, right? If to stop that, I would do whatever it takes, and then strengthen Ukraine. There are three things that have to happen. Let me be quick. Three things need to happen. Senator Lindsey Graham already passed this, sent this to the House to be passed, and these are Republican, also co-signed by Republican Congressman Kilpatrick. And so the thing of it is, number one, we have to strengthen Ukraine economically, which is already started with the minerals deal. Number two, we need to arm Ukraine to the teeth. That doesn't mean continue the war. That means make sure that Russia never be put in a position to attack Ukraine again. That doesn't mean that Ukraine go and attack Russia, no. But to defend your home, absolutely. Then number three, we need to make sure that we tariff the world out of Russia.
Okay.
And cripple their economy so that it prevents them to continue their aggression. Because I see this as the Cuban Missile Crisis that happened in the 60s. Russia won't stop unless we stand up to those bullets.
Pastor, there's a lot there. You're going to have to return to this program. It's called Newsnight. Put it in your schedule and come back regularly.
I'll be here.
Thank you.
I'll be here.
Kenneth, the pastor is telling us that the message is distorted in MAGA land. They're not getting the truth. He's saying, when I went there, I saw a different version of the news.
That was remarkable. What he was saying was very powerful and remarkable, of just, these are real people, they're dying, and, you know, getting that empathy. I don't agree about the land for peace. Of course you have to recognize the borders. You don't want to keep the war going. But to just, you know, violate international law and be rewarded permanently by recognized Crimea, and he wants to be able to build up there. I'm very skeptical of that.
Putin can't be...
Like, honestly, guys, that right there was just an example of MAGA for me personally. That was an example of MAGA. You had the pastor speaking about he went to Ukraine, he saw it for himself, and it changed his mind. First and foremost, why is it that it's always MAGA that are caught up in disinformation and conspiracy theories? Like, one of the things that it is that you'll see on the right in regards to the Russia and the Ukraine war is a lot of MAGA really honestly do believe that Putin is in the right and Zelensky's in the wrong. But it's only when they actually see the facts presented for themselves that they do actually understand and realize, you know what, that's actually not the case. That is actually not the case. It's not the case at all. It's only then that they realize it. And you heard the pastor say it. Now, you heard the pastor say all of that stuff in regards to what's happening there, that Putin is the aggressor. But then when pressed back with a question in regards to coming to a peace deal, he would sign up for and agree that Vladimir Putin should be rewarded for the war that he imposed on Ukraine by getting land for peace, violating international law, and forcing Ukrainian individuals to now become Russian. This is what's happening. This is what's taking place. Only in MAGA land, in MAGA world, is something like that makes sense. Only in MAGA world is something like that makes sense. Now, typically, why do we see that a lot of MAGA like to align themselves with Putin? Well, let's take a look at it. We're seeing increasingly that MAGA are aligning themselves with authoritarian values. And that's exactly what it is that Vladimir Putin is. And we can see that this is what Donald Trump longs to be. We can literally see it. Trump and his allies have been continuously criticizing Zelensky, labeling him a dictator, and then expressing skepticism to Vladimir Putin when people label him a dictator. This ideology and the sympathy towards Putin and the negativity that they push towards Zelensky, this reinforces the MAGA base in thinking that, you know what, Zelensky is the dictator and Putin is simply just fighting a war and defending himself. This is what's going on in MAGA world. Absolutely crazy, crazy stuff. As usual, guys, I want to know your guys' thoughts in the comment section below this video. Let me know your thoughts on this interview, this exchange, and the switch up from, yes, I'll change my mind, I'll see what's going on, but yes, I do believe that land needs to be exchanged for peace. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section below this video. While you're down there, if you're not subscribed to the channel already, hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate to hear from you guys. And as usual, do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button purely for the YouTube algorithm. Let's get this video in front of as many people as possible. And turn on the bell notification so that you get notified every single time we upload a brand new video. With that being said, I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.